Hey guys, and welcome to the school station. Today's video is going to be about expressing a number as a product of its prime factors. This is in the unit number from the Edexcel GCSE Maths 9 to 1 paper. So I hope this helps you and I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get right into the video. So before we actually think about prime factors, we actually have to know our prime numbers. Therefore, it is advised to know at least your first 10 prime numbers. Over here, I have listed down for you guys the first 10 prime numbers, and I would recommend for you to memorize them, but it's not really necessary because you can just know that any number that only multiplies with 1 and itself is a prime number. For example, 3 is a number that you will only find in the 1 times table and the 3 times table, and you're not going to find it in any other times table. So therefore it is a prime number. So just know the first 10 prime numbers and it will really help you to go on with the rest of the video. So after you know your prime numbers, the next thing you want to do is you actually want to go on to the step-by-step method about how to solve these problems of expressing a number as a product of its prime factors. So this is a step-by-step method. So first thing you have to do is you have to split the number into its products. Don't worry if you're not understanding over here because I'm going to be showing examples later on, but the first thing you will have to do is to split the number into its products, and it can be any combinations of numbers. For example, 18 can be 6 times 3, but it can also be 9 times 2. So it can be any combinations of numbers, whatever comes in your head first, okay? And the number 2, you have to keep splitting until you get prime factors as the end result. Again, if we have 18 and we split it into 6 times 3, we know 3 is a prime number, but 6 is not. So we have to split 6 again until it gets to 3 and 2. And we know that 3 and 2 is our prime numbers. So 3 times 2 times 3 is going to be the answer, but obviously it has to be numerical order and index form. And speaking of index form, the third step is that if asked in a question, present the answer in index form. Okay, so if you have 3 times 2 times 3, that's very, very random. You have to put it in numerical order, so 2 times 3 times 3, and then you have to do it 2 times 3 squared. Okay, so again, if you don't understand, now I'm going to be showing you guys an example of the expressing 18 as the product of its prime factors. So over here we have the first example, and as I said, we have 18 and we have split it into 6 and 3 because 6 times 3 is 18, and then we again further on split 6 into 3 and 2, and it would be advised that while you're doing this you can either circle the prime numbers or you can underline it like I've done so, because I have put the prime numbers into orange and I've underlined it so that I know which ones are the prime numbers. And then all you have to do is just basically put 18 is equals to 2 times 3 times 3. Now sometimes you may be asked to present your answer in an index form, and this is when they actually tell you to actually express a number as the products of powers of its prime factors. So when they say these keywords of powers, that means that they are telling you to actually present this in an index form. So therefore when you do that, you will get 18 is equals to 2 times 3 to the power of 2. Over here I have written to the power of 2, but obviously you can just put a little 2 next to the 3, and I wasn't able to do that. But obviously you can just put 3 and then you put a little 2 as the power, so they will know it's 3 squared or 3 to the power of 2. So after you basically know how to do this, this is really simple, but obviously this is just like super simple examples, but sometimes you'll get an even bigger number that will contain a lot of splitting further on until you find your prime factors. So the next example is a bit more complicated, but it's exactly the same process. Over here we're asked to express 525 as the products of powers of its prime factors. So again, what I did was I took 525, and obviously there are many different combinations of 525, but I got 105 and 5, and then I split 105 into 5 and 21, and then I split 21 into 7 and 3, and that was my end result because they were all prime numbers. And then I just put 525 is equals to 3 times 5 times 5 times 7. And as you guys can see, I put it in numerical order, which means that I put it into which one is from the smallest to the biggest. So 3 is the smallest and 7 is the biggest. So you have to make sure for everything you have to put it in numerical order. And then after you know that it's 3, as you guys can see in this example, 5 is repeated twice. So you put 525 is equals to 3 times 5 to the power of 2. Obviously, you don't have to write all this thing over here. You just put a little 2 next to the 5 and then times 7. So you're going to have 3 times 5 to the power of 2 times 7. So that's basically going to be your answer, and you would have completed this question. So I hope you guys have understood so far, because now it is your turn. I want you to try this question. Express 486 as the product of powers of its prime factors. Remember that it's asking you of powers, which means that you have to actually put it in index form. So pause the video right now and try to express 486 as the products of powers of its prime factors. Alright, so I hope you guys have tried it out yourself, because you know maths is all about practicing. So I hope you guys have tried out and seen if you could have completed this question. And now I'm going to be showing you guys and revealing you guys the answer. So this is the answer over here. As you guys can see, it was quite a lot of splitting, and you would have to actually see which two numbers actually multiply together to make 486. But obviously what I wanted to tell you guys is that it doesn't have to be, you might not get exactly the same diagram as me, because again there are many combinations of 486, but your end result altogether should be 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So again, it doesn't have to be exactly looking like this, but if you get the end result of these numbers, and that means that you have done it correctly. So yeah, I split 486 into 162 and 3, and then I split 162 into 54 and 3, and then I split 54 into 6 and 9, and 6 split into 3 and 2, and 9 split into 3 and 3. So yeah, it was just basically 2 times 3 to the power of 5, and you know that's basically about it. It's 2 times 3 to the power of 5, and that should be your answer. So I hope this actually helps you for your exam. And just over here I'm going to be showing you guys an overview about what we learned in today's video. So the first thing we learned is actually how we actually found out how to express a number as a product of its prime factors, which means just normally instead of writing we just do 2 times 5 times 5, so we don't like put any powers. But then later on we also learned to know how to express a number as a product of powers of its prime factors, which means that instead of writing 2 times 5 times 5, we can just write 2 times 5 squared. So you know we can just write that really simply. Number 3, we also know how to convert an answer into index form. Again, if you have a number like 2 times 3 times 3 times 3, we can just say 2 times 3 to the power of 3, and that is in index form now. And last of all, we also found out the first 10 prime numbers, which I would really recommend and advise you to know how to work out yourself or just memorize the first 10 prime numbers. So yeah, I really hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I hope this has helped you. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more content from the school station, and comment down below if you have any other topics you'd like me to make, and I hope to see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!